Bro, do you even wipe? Because you should, and old Nicky G has appeared on the wings of a demon to tell you why. Board wipes, sweepers, destroy all creatures, they can't be regenerated, exile all creatures. Should you run board wipes? Under what circumstances, and how do I feel about them? All questions will be answered in due time. But first, if you haven't, like and subscribe, leave a comment, send me some love in the mail on an email chain directly to my heart, dude. Come to the Discord, say hi to the patrons, the lovely hyenas out there, or just enjoy the video. You know, it's your life, brother. So how do I feel about board wipes? I'm glad I asked and pretended that somebody else asked me. I like them, I play them, but I don't always play them and I don't always deploy them every time I can. The difference between a good player and a bad player is knowing when to deploy your board wipes. Obviously, if next turn an opponent is going to swing in for lethal damage on you, deploy your board wipe, brother. If somebody's board is an existential threat to your life, or the game even, then use it, obviously. But have you ever done this, brother? Sandbag a wipe in your opening hand. Have you held it until other players extend their board state and then wipe the board to reset everybody? That's a valid use of a board wipe as well. You're generating card advantage in that case, taking out 5 or 6 things in exchange for your one card. Makes everybody mad, but I don't care. The point is to be mindful. Use this stuff wisely. Now there are also, of course, board wipes that won't affect your board anyways, like in Garruk's Wake. 7 black for a sorcery, destroy all creatures you don't control and all planeswalkers you don't control. These are very costly in terms of mana, 9 mana. There are a bunch of board wipes that offer greater effects or more advantage, but they cost more, dude. Contrast this with something more efficient like Damnation. 2 black for a sorcery, destroy all creatures, they can't be regenerated. So this is a $20 card precisely because it's so efficient. We fetishize efficiency in Commander, but is it even better than something like Blood Money? You know, destroy all creatures. For each non-token creature destroyed this way, you create a tap treasure token. Well, yeah, it is better, but also no. Is your goal to reset the board on turn 3? Is your pod going out of control on turn 4? If not, you might want to run something like Blood Money. And there's also the fact that Damnation, you can redeploy after you cast it. It's only 4 mana. If you have 9 mana out there, plop out a creature afterwards. These are all things you should consider. The other thing you need to consider is what kind of deck you're running. Are you running a deck with few creatures, maybe more board wipes? Super Friends, no downside to running quite a few board wipes. You're running a white weenies and aggro that depends on a larger board state to be effective, maybe less board wipes. Are you running a black deck where you want creatures to die so you can reanimate them? Well, then you should be running lots of board wipes. Big mana, maybe run something like In Garruk's Wake or Plague Wind. There are tons of board wipes out there, man. Lots of ways to choose and lots of reasons to run different wipes. Let's talk about them. So now we talked a little bit about board wipes that destroy all creatures. Sometimes they can be regenerated, sometimes they can't. But there's a big elephant in the room here, man, and that's farewell. So this is 4 white for a sorcery. Choose one or more. Exile all artifacts, all creatures, all enchantments, or all graveyards. This is the ultimate modal board wipe. You just choose what you want, dude. Any of the above, all of the above, doesn't matter. This is about $5 right now due to a massive proliferation of reprints. It's not the most efficient board wipe out there, but it is the best, man. There's really no reason not to run this in any deck that can run it. That's it, buddy. My full endorsement. Maybe Wizards is going to ban it, but I don't think so. I actually think it's a fair card. Though there are ways to counter it, of course. Teferi's Protection, counter spells, March of Swirling Mist, phasing, stuff like that. Semester's End. Some fantastic cards. Now beyond Farewell, there aren't too many board wipes at Exile. Merciless Eviction kind of pales in comparison to Farewell. Urza's Ruinous Blast, fantastic card, pretty dope. Exile all non-land permanents that aren't legendary. You'd have to be in a heavy Legends deck, but if you are, then it's great. Now there are some color-specific board wipes, conditional board wipes we should mention here. Azuri's Predation, 5 green for a sorcery. For each creature your opponents control, create a 4/4 green Phyrexian Beast creature token. Each of those tokens fights a different one of those creatures. It's an interesting card. We fighting out there, buddy. Azuri strikes back for 35 cents. If you're in a deck that pays off fighting or token generation, this is a good one. It's one of the few in green. If you're in mono green, this is it. And in red we have Blasphemous Act. So this is 8 and a red. Sorcery. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. Blasphemous Act deals 13 damage to each creature. This is a red wedding from Game of Thrones, buddy. They were having a good time, but they had too good of a time, and now they're all dead. Thanks a lot, Charlie Murphy. But what if your opponents are indestructible? Well, then you run a little card I like to call Toxic Deluge. So this is 2 and a black for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast the spell, pay X life. All creatures get -X until end of turn. Toxic Deluge is about $5 too. What a great card, man. Used to be very pricey. It's a very black card. Paying life to take down the creatures. It's very efficient for 3 mana. And of course, blue has Bounce. It's not necessarily a board wipe per se, but it's a reset. Blue has the very rare ability to accomplish these resets at instant speed with cards like Evacuation. 3 blue instant, return all creatures to their owner's hands. The big granddaddy of them all is Cyclonic Rift. So this is 1 in a blue for an instant, return target non-land permanent you don't control to its owner's hand. But it's got that overload, dude, for 6 in a blue. $40 for this beast, and you know why, brother? Because you can hold up mana, rift on your last opponent's end step, and then you go first, man. It's like taking over the turn order and keeping all your stuff while your opponents are left defenseless. God, I hate the rift, man. It's such an unbelievable banger, but it costs 7 mana, so, there is that. So that basically covers some of the best board wipes in each color, but what are some of Nikki G's favorites out there? The Decree of Pain, man. 6 black for a sorcery, destroy all creatures. They can't be regenerated, you fool. Draw a card for each creature destroyed this way. Not bad, man. Also has cycling for 3 black. When you cycle it, all creatures get -2 until end of turn. True story, man. I once reanimated an opponent's Eternal Witness, right? Grabbed a Decree of Pain, but you don't have enough mana to cast it, right? Why you getting that, Nikki G? You damn idiot. Right, but I can cycle it, dude. It killed all his 2/2s. I was able to survive another turn cycle. Don't sleep on that option for this. 8 mana is a ton, but that card draw is immense. How about Vanquish the Horde, buddy? 6 white sorcery. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. Destroy all creatures. This card is criminally underrated. Sean Connery's out there. He's stealing all the girls with his sweet glowing sword, brother. The cost reduction is nuts. Get it down to 2 white mana. That's an incredible deal. And of course, Ruinous Ultimatum out here. So this is red, white, black for a sorcery. Destroy all non-land permanents your opponents control. This basically says it all, man. This can be a massive swing. Get rid of all those problem enchantments. Kills all the mana rocks out there. But the casting cost is nuts. Single combat, fantastic board wipe, 3 white sorcery. Each player chooses a creature or planeswalker they control, then sacrifices the rest. Players can't cast creature or planeswalker spells until the end of your next turn. That means you too, brother. Love this card specifically in Voltron decks. Sorin and Nahiri, 2 albinos fighting about what to have for dinner. Come on, man. This is amazing. Gets around indestructible because the player has to sacrifice the creatures. Perhaps one of the best board wipes around, Kindred Dominance. 5 black sorcery. Choose a creature type. Destroy all creatures that aren't of the chosen type. This was quite pricey, around $11. This gets a reprint, maybe pick one up. It's got a real Depeche Mode vibe to it, Must have for creature type decks. Brings up the fact that the type of board wipe you're going to run has to match the type of deck you're in, man. Are you into tokens and copying tokens? How about Phyrexian Rebirth? Are you into artifact creatures? Then Organic Extinction, or Their Name is Death. Those are great includes. Auras and enchantments are fantastic. One of my favorite archetypes out there, Winds of Wrath. I feel so alone looking at this art, man. I'm going to end up a big old pile of them bones. Yeah. Dragons. You got Crux of Fate. It's an auto include. You got dinos out there? You like dinos, brother? What are you, a 7-year-old boy? No, you're a man. At least the YouTube analytics tells me you're a man. Then you're going to run the Awakening Sun's Avatar. Enchantment Creatures is a fun little archetype. If you're a Theros kind of fella, Extinguish All Hope. One of the most interesting red damage board wipes is Chandra's Ignition. So this is 3 red sorcery. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. This is way better than people give it credit for, and it's only a couple bucks as we speak today. If you have a commander that gets really huge one way or another, bust this out to murk the table, dude. I use it in Greven Predator Captain because he gets pretty big. If he has lifelink as well, well, he's the one doing the damage, so more is the better. Now, this is a card I've used so much, people say, oh man, I smell a big living death coming out there. So this is 3 black for a sorcery. Each player exiles all creature cards from their graveyard, sacrifices all the creatures they control, puts all the cards they exile this way onto the battlefield, man. This is a great card to sandbag while you fill your graveyard, ramp up for the first few turns. Not only does it wipe the board, you, and let's be fair, everyone else, gets to reanimate all those creeps in the graveyard, but they're not filling their graveyard as fast as you are, man. I use this with sacrifice outlets like Carrion Feeder. You sack all your creatures on the end step. Hopefully everybody's tapped out so you don't get countered. Get all those delicious zombies back from the graveyard. So in conclusion here, should you run board wipes in your commander decks? Yeah, you should run 2, maybe 3, maybe 1 depending on what's going on in your deck, maybe more. If you have no particular synergies, run the generic board wipes, the good stuff like Blasphemous Act. They're usually pretty cheap to pick up. And remember, be a little judicious with your board wipes. Don't just throw them out there willy-nilly. Try to anticipate a board state that's going to end the game and wipe away, dude. That's what they tell me, brother. Wipe away the bad feelings in your life. Be nice to animals, both human animals and regular animals, brother, because that's better commander, dudes. Nicky G, signing off.